What's up, my beautiful ninjas? I hope you guys are all having a good day. I know you guys are all up in the grill, but I hope you guys are all having a good day. So I just wanted to come on and talk about something else. As you guys can tell by the title, this one is going to be on focus. And I think that there's a good amount of information out there about focusing and just the importance of making sure that you're always focused on the things that need to get done, the things that actually serve you, the things that will push you, towards your dreams. And I think that there's a lot of information out there about it, but I think a lot of times they don't really. I think the part that is not really talked about enough is just how can we identify in our own lives how out of focus we are, you know what I mean? And like what ways in which we don't focus. And I think the biggest thing that we need to really think about and recognize, and this goes for me as well, is that when it comes to focus, it really is starts off with the little stuff, you know what I mean? Like it starts with the smallest things, such as just being present in your body when you're doing one specific activity, just making sure that you're giving your attention to the thing that requires your attention at the time that you're doing it. I know that I have a habit where when I eat, I like to watch something, whether it's a movie or a TV show or something or YouTube video. I like to watch something when I eat. And there's a study that was done that says that you eat 2 to 3 times more when you're not paying attention to your food and you're actually doing something else. So when you're being distracted by something else, when you're giving your attention to something else. So that's one way that I know for sure for me. I try to be very present when I eat because I feel like that kind of answers my question as to why it's been so difficult for me to lose 15 pounds in the past 15 years, okay? Besides a little bit of laziness and procrastination and things like that, I feel like recognizing that you end up eating more than you need to be satisfied when you're being distracted while you're doing it. So that's my example. It may be something different from for you, but if you think about different things, like let's say for example, when you're driving and you're texting or you're fiddling with your phone to find some music, that's why they say no texting and driving, because driving requires your attention at that time. And if you are not paying attention and giving it your full attention, then it obviously can become catastrophic. And of course, we've all done it. I am guilty of it as well. Not necessarily texting and driving, but trying to put on like a different song or something like that. I definitely am guilty of that. And I think that you kind of recognize how dangerous it is because obviously they put out the law for a reason, because a lot of people have been losing their lives for those. And obviously, this is not necessarily about that, but it's just about recognizing that when you're out of focus and you're allowing yourself to be distracted to a certain extent because you're not giving your full effort and you're not really present in what you're doing, it can lead to destructive things pretty much. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is actually because like 2 days ago, basically, an unfortunate situation happened to where my mom was watching my niece. And she basically was like, okay, she was going to basically cook dinner pretty much. So she goes and puts something on the stove. She turns the stove on and she walks in her room to grab something, and something grabbed her attention because I spoke to her and she was like something, she doesn't even remember what it was, but something grabbed her attention and she didn't realize how much that thing grabbed her attention until she turned around and realized that there was a fire in the kitchen. So I'm going to insert the picture of what her kitchen looks like. Thank God everything happened, okay, to where they were able to put out the fire and everybody's safe and things like that. And it didn't get to a catastrophic state. But it was crazy because when I was talking to her, she was like, because my younger brother was there. So she basically told my younger brother to grab my niece and go outside while she tries to put out the fire. And she told me, she was like, it's crazy the way that it happened, because had she been home by herself with my niece, she would have had to leave. And obviously it would have been catastrophic, and obviously the house could have burned down and you would have had to start off from square one. And I know that I'm giving you guys some extremes, but I think that the biggest thing when it comes to focus is the fact that we brush it off. We're like, it's not that serious. And I think that the mindset of saying that it isn't that serious, because if it isn't that serious, then why won't you stop doing it? Why won't you be present in your body while you're doing that one thing? If it isn't that serious, then why can't you stop doing it? But I think that the destructive way of thinking the destructive, I guess, reason behind that thinking is just the fact that we do it in so many other ways as well. Whether it's you're drinking or you're smoking to try to numb a pain of an experience that you had when you were younger, or you're jumping from bed to bed because you have daddy issues. Whatever the case may be. And again, I hope that you guys are receiving the information that I'm telling you, not from a place of judgment, because been there, done that. But I feel like when we try to pretend as if those things are not that serious and it's not that important and it's not that significant, when you really start to peel the layers and you recognize how much you avoid focusing on things that are actually important to you and things that are supposed to be there to help you. And I feel like because of the fact that I feel like the very thing that you're trying to avoid focusing on becomes your deterrence, becomes the distraction of your life, becomes the destructive nature of your life, essentially. So I really wanted to bring that up, and I'm hoping that this ties in, and I'm hoping that this makes sense to you guys. But I'm bringing this up because I think that it's extremely important that we don't just talk about focusing, like, yeah, focus on your money, focus on this, is that. But I think that it's important for us to focus on the internal work that needs to be done for us to be able to achieve the level of success that we want, and to be able to sustain it, and also to be able to enjoy it. Because one thing that I recognize, because if you think about it, and I know I'm kind of all over the place, but if you think about it, if you think about, like, let's say celebrities that we admire and we look up to and we are like awestruck on, celebrities that have made it to a level of accomplishment and achievement that we look up to. But some of them are still sad, and some of them are still depressed, and some of them are still taking their lives. How does that make sense? Like, how do we connect? Like, okay, so you went from being poor, going through a horrible childhood, going through a whole bunch of bad experiences, to turning things around and being the most influential person in the world, let's just say, for example, or being influential in your own community, in your own life, in your own family, achieving all this success that we all look to and we all yearn to have and we all praise, but you're still depressed. How does that make sense? And I think the biggest thing is because of the fact that we spend so much of our time neglecting ourselves, neglecting God, neglecting addressing the things that are actually the matters of the heart. And I think that until we get to a place where we focus on the internal work that's required of us all, at a certain, we all have a past, we all have experiences, we all have mistakes, and a lot of times because we hold on to all of those things and we focus on all of our distractions, we focus on the things that help to numb us, the things that help to take our minds off of it. Because we focus on that, we're actually creating a bigger hindrance in our own lives. And I just want you guys to really just get to a place where you just address it, face it head on, forgive yourself for it, forgive whoever you need to forgive, and just really let those things go and just release those things from you. Because at the end of the day, all of those things that are shaping and molding you, and I talked about soul ties before, but all of those things that you're allowing to continue to shape and to mold you and to groom you in a certain extent, if you really think that the accomplishment and the achievement and the money and the success and all of that, if you really think that those are going to overshadow the pain, the hurt, the anxiety, the depression, all of those things that you're trying to avoid addressing, it's not. It isn't. And you don't want to get to a place where you get to your place of I don't know, like, you don't want to get to a place where it's like you reach and have accomplished your goal, but you can't enjoy it. What's the point? What's the point? If you can't enjoy it, then why put all that blood, sweat, and tears just to look good in front of people? Who gives a fuck about them? They don't give a fuck about you. Let's be real. Make it to where you focus on yourself. Focus on the things that you know you need to uncover, you need to address, you need to face, you need to forgive. Face those things. Focus on those things, because the more that you focus on yourself and the more that you focus on those things and addressing them and really allowing yourself to heal from them, the easier it'll be for you to acknowledge and to be more grateful for the things that you already have. And then also the easier it'll be for you to stay in alignment with the path of, with your own path and the path of your will and the path of your destiny, and to actually enjoy it whenever it comes. So I hope that this all made sense. I hope that this all tied together. I just really want us all to really just address the ways in which we try to avoid focusing on the things that are actually necessary for us to deal with and to uncover in this season of our lives. And I know what it's like to try to numb. I know what it's like to try to forget. I know what it's like to try to avoid certain things, certain emotions, certain feelings, certain experiences, certain conversations. I know what it's like. And right now I'm dealing with uncovering those things in my own life and really just getting to a place where I'm no longer allowing myself to be tied to those things, because it's creating more anxiety and more destructive thoughts and behavior in my life than I ever realized. And now I feel like for me to open myself up to the new and to the better that God has for me and to the better that I want for myself, I have to make room for that. And in order to make room for that, I have to clear out my closet, clear out the space, clear out the clutter, clear out the anxiety, the fears, the frustrations, the anger, the unforgiveness. I have to clear it out. And so do you. I don't want you to get to the place where you've reached your goals and you can't even enjoy it because you have so much negativity tied to you. Or I don't want you to get to a place where you can't even recognize the blessings that are already in your life because you're so focused on avoiding or distracting yourself from your past, from your mistakes, from your hurts. I hope that this makes sense. If you guys are encouraged by it, that's all I can ask for, honestly. Let me know down below if you guys want me to do a video on anything else specific. And yeah, pretty much that's going to be it. I love you guys. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel for more, and go ahead and follow me on my social medias, which will be around me somewhere. But yeah, thank you so much. Be safe, stay blessed, and remember to always treat yourself. Peace out.